Hey, welcome to another Quality Time. This is James at Dark Threat Fabrication, Quality Lead here. You can contact us and find us on the web at darkthreatfabrication.com. I wanted to pause at the beginning of this Quality Time this week and give a shout out to some special people. You may have noticed we film these usually on Friday, and I'm wearing some color of red shirt. That was a Nimitz thing, red, remember everyone deployed. Well, I'd like to mention that today the Nimitz pulled into San Diego after 10-month deployment. So for the men and women, the officers and the enlisted on board that ship, congratulations. Thank you for keeping us safe, keeping us our liberty throughout the world. I was on the Nimitz for 6 years, 4 months, and 3 days, so I know where you're at. Welcome home. So we're going to begin to discuss a new topic. Starting this week and over the next couple weeks, we're going to talk a lot about the technological innovations that led to the industrialization of the United States and most of the world. We're going to look at some of the quality inputs of forefathers and just quality in general as industry began to build throughout the United States and the world. You may remember the quote a couple weeks ago that we talked about that said, "Necessity is the mother of all invention." So in its basic first sense, it was, I made something for me. And as long as it met my need, it was good. But then when I started making things for me and somebody else wanted what I had, then I started making it for you. And when I started making it for somebody else, that's when quality began to appear. Because it might meet my needs, but now I have to consider what your specific need was in making the good. Quality began to appear on a basic sense in this, but nonetheless it was still there in a basic sense. This increase in production and this increase in quality, it actually led to the concept of craftsmen and guilds, where people would gather together as a group of craftsmen, gilded together. And these guilds would often have their own individual, although it may have been a rudimentary basic, but they had their own quality standards for their products that they were producing. So this rapid industrialization began to change the very fabric of the society, and we'll talk about here in America. A little graphic that's pretty interesting, and I thought these were some very interesting statistics. But in 1790, the U.S. Census Department showed that about 90% of the population of the United States at that time was agricultural, farming. 100 years later, 1890, it had dropped to approximately 50%. 100 years later, 1990, U.S. Census report shows that farming was made up of only 2.6% of the population. So in 200 years, we industrialized greatly, and we'll see that as we talk more about Industry 1.0 through 4.0. But industry changed the very fabric. We went from 90% agricultural down to 2.6 agricultural. Fascinating fact there. In addition to the primary factor of the power source changing, we'll look at another dynamic that changed exponentially during the industrialization of the United States, and that was the sheer production volume. We'll see that because the power source changed, so did the production volumes. They increased exponentially, and every increase in production volume demanded an increase in quality standards to meet that production volume increase. So in the early stages of this industrialization of America, we saw that a lot of the power that industry relied on was human powered and animal powered. That was the primary source. And we're going to see that one of the biggest things that changed industry was the power source. What took place after the human and the animal power? What came next? And what allowed industry to grow so fast and so rapidly? Hey, be sure to link up with us. All the links are there in the comment section. Go ahead and click on those. Also, we want to thank you, like every week. Thank you for giving us this time to learn a little bit more about quality with us. We'll see you next time on Quality Time as we talk more about Industry 1.0.